We honor the graduates of Henry St School for International Studies class of 2013. Today is their long-awaited commencement. They've been working and planning for this day for the past 4 years, and it was no easy feat for them to be on this stage. The class of 2013 was held to higher standards than the predecessors who came before. The curriculum they learned was more rigorous as well. Their cohort had to score higher on state exams in order to meet new requirements for graduation. Also, they had to have a more respectable score on ELA and mathematics in order to be college and career ready. There were many who didn't believe that this was possible, but you proved the naysayers wrong. At every graduation, the principal stands up here before the audience and talks about how special the class is of 2013. But I have to say, I've been in this business a very long time, and I have yet to meet a nicer group of kids. What has always struck me about this class is the way in which they encourage and support one another. And I marvel at the relationships they fostered with each other and their teachers. As many of you may know, this year was the first year that we had Dancing with the Teachers under Mrs. Saunders' direction. It was our seniors who served as the coaches for our teachers, and I will tell you, they certainly had their work cut out for them. It was our seniors who encouraged us to do better. In fact, it was a number of students that came to my office and said, Ms. Lockwood, you have to be in the shows and you have to dance. So I knew there was no way out of it, and every day they would come and ask me what song I wanted to dance to. And I said, the teachers and I are going to dance to the song, No Mountain High Enough by the Supremes. And Morgan Marcus looked at me and said, are you sure you really want to do that? And of course I was not sure at all. And as we got closer to the performance, so many of you would stop in and ask how I was doing and remind me that I had to go to rehearsal because I needed to practice. Webster's Dictionary defines commencement as a start of a new, a launch, a beginning. And while your graduation is the completion of high school, and there is much to be celebrated as you've accomplished a great deal and reached a huge milestone in your life. This is exciting, but it's not the end. It's merely the beginning. This is an exciting and scary time, as life often is. You will experience much success as you go out into the big world, and you will also have your fair share of failures. Your definition of success will change as you grow and mature, and you will realize it's not all about the bling or the money. I must admit, when I graduated from high school, I thought I knew it all. I was the first in my family to go to college, so I thought I was much smarter than my siblings and my cousins and some of my friends who took a different path. And of course, I thought I was much smarter than my parents. While I was away at school, I learned very quickly that I wasn't as smart as I thought, and that your biggest fans in life will always be the cherished relationships that you make when you're young. And your family will always be there to support you, no matter what road you're going down. As a former social studies teacher, I share the sentiment that in order to know where you are going, you need to know who you are and where you came from. Your true purpose comes from who you are and what you desire to be. So don't forget where you came from. At the same time, you mustn't let your past define you. And this is where things get a little tricky. In the words of Steve Jobs, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your own inner voice. So be persistent as you can be, and do not give up. Nothing is real. really over until the moment you give up. It's been my experience that in life, the things that go wrong are often the very things that lead to other things going right. Do not be discouraged by failure, embrace it, and look for life's lessons, as the learning is always there. Sometimes you may have to take a hard look at yourself, which can be painful, but the reward will always be worth it. It has been my privilege to serve as the principal to the class of 2013, and it is truly an honor to watch you grow and develop into the fine adults you've become. This is an exciting time, and you should revel in this accomplishment. I want to thank the parents and caregivers for entrusting your children to our school over the last 4 years. It was really a privilege. At this time, I would like to congratulate formally the class of 2013. Go get them.
Welcome parents, friends, and teachers. Today we graduate. We leave one world and enter another. We enter a world where we can instantly shape the things around us, where what we say is truly heard. Today we show the world that as a class and as a family, we have made it for 4 years of hard work and dedication. We show the world that in these 4 years, we have learned new things, we have grown in new ways, we have learned to love in new ways. It's hard to believe that 4 years ago we entered this building completely unaware of how radically different we're going to leave. We entered this building as strangers, as a community that was not here because it was mandatory, or because it was going to open new doors, but we leave as a big family. We leave as a family, as a family, and even into a class, the next class, step into our shoes. To show the world how we have influenced both them and the community. We began high school as kids that wanted to have fun and enjoy life without looking back. And we leave high school as adults that know that the only way to learn in life is from the bad perspective and see where we have made mistakes, so that those that we love won't make the same mistakes. Those like these men and friends of mine. Not only do we launch ourselves into the adulthood by graduating from high school, but we launch ourselves into our futures, into our dreams. We can now begin to take the steps that we dreamt through our whole lives. We can now live our dreams. It begins here, and it begins today. The future is in our hands, and I know we are going to let go. Now, not ever. There's a person in this group behind you whose name I won't mention, but you know who he is. That's how I finish this. When we first met, he presented himself to me as one of the strangest humans I've ever met. We were in chemistry class, and he was sitting ahead of me. He was talking to his friend, who was also a friend of mine. Being that he looked friendly, I went in to join the conversation. As I joined, my friend looked at us and introduced us to each other. And this is where he said it. He said, "We're going to be best friends." 5 seconds after meeting, he looks me in the eyes and tells me we're going to be best friends. And boy, was I in a world of surprises. Let's just say that today, we look at each other like brothers. He's just one of the many friends that have changed our life. There are also 2 other close friends, Gabriel and Joshua. I look at these 2 like you look at your siblings. They have taught me many things. They have taught me that even though life is harder than we expected, friendships are what make it worthwhile. That life is what you make of it. Be part of the thing that you believe in. That to see the change you want to see, you must also take part in it. Then there's Ariana, my girlfriend. Everyone was taught me that life is full of happiness and love. That there is more to life than simply getting grades. That simply walking through a park can teach you new things, through experience, something that no book can do. These are just a few of the life-changing people that I've crossed paths with because of this school. A few of my now new family that I know I will never forget. It's been a long 4 years, but here we are, ready to graduate. We worked the butts off to get here, but we didn't do it ourselves. We had to help our teachers, our family, and our friends. I want to thank our parents that nothing is given in life, only earned. I want to thank our custodial staff for cleaning up after the mess we know left that everybody should clean up. You guys know what the mess we were in those first years of our arrival, so we got better over time. I want to thank our coaches for pushing us to be better than those that inspired them. Because of you, we learned how to be honorable winners and graceful losers. Thank you for making school more than just schoolwork. And to our guidance counselors for listening and helping us get back to our coach graduation. Also want to thank our principal and our vice principal and our former principal, Mr. Mann, for helping things run smoothly. You have all taught us how to live life in unimaginable ways, and for this we are thankful. We repay the debt of gratitude forward. Thank you.
To announce our guest speaker, our principal, Kristen Pop.
Welcome again. So I just wanted to give you some background on our keynote speaker for our commencement ceremonies in 2013. This year, we were very fortunate to have the Future Project in our building, and that was a mentor program where we had 37 students that were mentored by people from the community. And this person that I'm going to introduce to you is a dream director of the Future Project. Her name is Salome Halima, and she's the author of 5 books and co-founder of Planet Brooklyn, the sole creative consulting company in New York City that focuses on fashioning groundbreaking ways to grow startup emerging leaders in small institutions. In 2007, Halima co-created Fast Girls, a national program that coaches women in rapid personal and professional expansion. As a prolific cultivator of human capital, this pioneer is leading a movement to include life coaches in America's public schools with the Future Project. I would like to introduce at this time Salome Halima as our keynote.
Assistant Principal Bonner, educators, parents, friends, family, and most importantly, to Henry St School for International Studies class of 2013. Congratulations to you. I come to this podium with a humble heart and a commitment to cherish this moment with you. Please excuse me if I cry. I stand here in solidarity with you, graduates. I, too, am a student. I, too, am completing a major period in my life and beginning a new one. I, too, hope I am making my parents, my siblings, my mentors, and teachers proud. When preparing to speak with you today, I thought back to my own high school graduation, and I could not remember any of what the keynote speaker said. Not a word. It may have been because I was thinking about who would be in the audience and how loud they would cheer for me, or it could have been that I was exhausted because I got very little sleep the night before. Is that true for any of you? Yes. I couldn't remember who spoke or what they said, and that made me sad. This is one of the most important days of your life, and I would hate to stand up here and simply be one more thing on the agenda that separates you from your high school diploma. I will consider this one of the greatest days of my life if I say something today that moves you, your teachers, your family, or your friends, such that 15 years from now, when you are asked to deliver a commencement speech, you remember what I say. I really only have one message, but because I know that repetition is one of the easiest ways to commit things to memory, and muscle memory can help those who learn by doing, I'm going to need all of your help. Okay? Everyone ready?
Yeah.
All right. What does this represent?
One.
Some people say one. What else?
Finger.
High.
Up, down,
Gonna get your attention. Stop. Some people say the letter D if you know American Sign Language, right? All of that is true. It all depends on your perspective. But one thing unifies all that you expressed about this gesture, and that is the possibility of something else. The possibility of more than nothing, if you said one. The possibility of something out there, if you said up. The possibility of language and communication. You know that this is the symbol for D in American Sign Language. And today, I want you to leave with a new understanding of this symbol. We are the ones. I want you all, anyone and everyone in the room, to hold up that symbol when I have said something that is true for you. And I want you to say with me, we are the ones when you do that. So let's test it out. You who are proud of the class of 2013, we are the ones. You who are happy that this day has come, we are the ones. Perfect. So this is a teacher's story that I want to share with you. There's a story that comes to us from many, many years ago from an elementary school teacher. Her name was Mrs. Thompson. And she stood in front of her 5th grade class on the very first day of school, and she told the children a lie. Like most teachers, she looked at her students and said that she loved them all the same. But that was impossible, because there was, in the front row, slumped in his seat, a little boy named Teddy. Mrs. Thompson had watched Teddy the year before and noticed that he didn't play well with the other children, that his clothes were messy and that he constantly needed a bath. And Teddy could be unpleasant. It got to the point where Mrs. Thompson would actually take delight in marking his papers with broad red pen strokes, making bold X's, and then putting a big F at the top of his papers. At the school where Mrs. Thompson taught, she was required to review each child's past records, and she put Teddy's off until the last. However, when she reviewed his file, she was in for a surprise. Teddy's 1st grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is a bright child with a ready laugh. He does his work neatly and has good manners. He is a joy to be around." His 2nd grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is an excellent student, well-liked by his classmates, but he's troubled because his mother has a terminal illness, and life at home must be a struggle." His 3rd grade teacher wrote, "His mother's death has been hard on him. He tries to do his best, but his father doesn't show much interest, and his home life will soon affect him if some steps aren't taken." Teddy's 4th grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is withdrawn and doesn't show much interest in school. He doesn't have many friends and sometimes sleeps in class." I'm going to take a break here. You who have attended school or work, having lost someone dear to you, we are the ones. You who have had to work to help pay bills before graduating high school, we are the ones. You who have experienced low self-esteem because someone who was supposed to hold you up put you down, we are the ones. Sorry, I'm just trying to get back to it. By now, Mrs. Thompson realized the problem, and she was ashamed of herself. She felt even worse when her students brought her Christmas presents, wrapped in beautiful ribbons and bright paper, except for Teddy's. His present was clumsily wrapped in the heavy brown paper that he got from a grocery bag. Miss Thompson took pains to open it in the middle of other presents. Some of the children started to laugh when she found a rhinestone bracelet with some of the stones missing and a bottle of perfume that was a quarter full. She stifled the children's laughter when she explained how pretty the bracelet was, putting it on. She dabbed some of the perfume on her wrist. Teddy stayed after school that day, just long enough to say, "Mrs. Thompson, today you smell just like my mother used to." After the children left, she cried. On that day, she quit teaching, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and instead began to teach children. You who have been moved by the stories and lives of your classmates or students, and you have grown, you have taken action, you have handled your ego, you have been compassionate. We are the ones. Mrs. Thompson paid particular attention to Teddy as she worked with him. His mind seemed to come alive. The more she encouraged him, the faster he responded. By the end of the year, Teddy had become one of the top students in his class. A year later, she found a note under her door from Teddy telling her that she was still the best teacher he'd ever had. You who have had a teacher or mentor believe in you, and their belief led to your believing in yourself. We are the ones. 6 years later, she got another note from Teddy. He then wrote that he had finished high school, second in his class, and she was still the best teacher that he'd ever had in his whole life. 4 years after that, she got another letter saying that while things had been tough, he stayed in school, and he stuck with it, and would soon graduate from college first in his class. Then 4 years passed, and another letter came, and he explained that he'd gotten a medical degree. The letter was signed Theodore F. Stollard, MD. Those of you whose lives have been changed because someone in this room helped you to be stronger, more committed, has given you a reason to continue, has been an example for you. We are the ones. Graduates, some of you will go on to be teachers or professors that, like Mrs. Thompson, change a child's life. Stand if that is you. Those of you who will be teachers or professors,
Watch out, I sit there.
those of you who will be a stand for those future educators, let them know. We are the ones. Some of you will create art and culture. You will beautify your communities. You will make people sing and dance and stare at campuses and television and film screens and fashion catwalks. Stand if that is you.
Now my child's standing up.
You who will stand for these artists and culture creators, let them know. We are the ones. Some of you will heal others, offering them new life. If that is you, please stand. If you, parents, family, faculty, will be a stand for our healers, let them know. We are the ones. Some of you will build businesses that feed your families and the families of others to create products that we have yet to see on the market. If that is you, please stand. the world's very first dream director. And some of you will be also carving out your own path with titles none of us can ever even imagine. If you believe you're in that category, please stand. Those of you who intend to stand for our inventors, our innovators, and our scientists, please let them know. Graduates, parents, friends, faculty, and staff, we are the ones. Whatever we would want to see in the world, we can create. For some of you, coming to this country was a dream, and you made it. For others of you, you have suffered injustice and abuse, and were determined to live a life that you love, and you made it. For some of you, you were unsure if you would make it through school, struggling along the way, and you made it. And I want you to know that Nelson Mandela is not doing very well. And he's in his 90s and has lived a very, very long life. He did not allow prison to stand in his way of being the one and the first democratically voted president of South Africa. So I want all of you to know tonight, this afternoon, and as you go into the summer and into whatever is next for you, that you are the ones. And we believe that, and we will stand for you as you make your way through this life and on to make it better for those who will come after you. I promise you that you will. And I want to quote Nelson Mandela's speech, his inaugural speech. He quoted Marianne Williamson. One piece of that is, and some of you might know this, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? And actually, who are you not to be? You who promise in this room to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous, let them know. We are. Congratulations to you, your parents, faculty. Congratulations. people and things that went before. So I know our love will stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
Thank you, Presenter Mr. Gunn. And now we're watching a video montage of our seniors created by our faculty and my boyfriend.
No, it's on the program.
His graduation gift. No. Let's take it a little bit lower. There you go. Papa. Got that on lights. Kids are so stupid. You gotta love teenagers. I want my money back.
Oh, Lord,
Oh,
really?
sweet Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Well, you can't escape that song, can you?
No, my kids just my son sung this yesterday. That's why the song, I'm like sick of hearing it.
Can't escape that song forever.
I saw one. Anybody ask you who I am? So that I would just stand up tall, with a new face to say, I'm that star in the sky. I'm that mountain peak up high. They made it. I'm the world's greatest. I can't escape this song.
I know, right?
You know that's against the rules. I can feel it. I'm the world's greatest. Nice song. Just stand up tall, look in the face and say, I'm that star in the sky. I'm that mountain with a made I'm the world's greatest. I'm that little bit the world's greatest. I'm
25?
Still looking up when you're needing yours to do some navigating. I'll be here patiently to see what you find. Seeing the stars today.
This is on the kindergarten. This is on the class. The kindergarten.
Yeah.
When they had their graduation.
Yeah.
This was their song.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just say go.
Who is that?
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's right there. It's right there. It's right there.
Who's the skinny white kid?
NYU student problem.
I wish I could check. He look kind of old to be a high school student.
Now for our valedictorian, Nana Wu.
That's what it's really said.
Today, we're all here together to step into another turning point of our lives. In the past 4 years, we have faced many obstacles that could have discouraged us from moving forward. There were moments that high school felt like the walking dead. All of us zombies, unsure of what was next in this big city. We all had the same questions. Where's the head? What does it all mean? How do we keep going? And are our dreams still possible? After so many disappointments and struggles that were me after schoolwork, it sometimes felt that our foundation was breaking into pieces of rocks, mixed with tears, so often for money that I could no longer see where my path was leading. I was trapped in the zone. Exhausted from feeling lost and hopeless, I stopped and stood in the middle of the road, paralyzed. However, just when I was about to think and point to the scary nightmare, my classmates, teachers, actually everyone in the school, showed me that family isn't just who you're born to, it is the people who reach out and care even when there is no collaboration. I saw my shadow parents to the pool, Mr. Henry dragging me from the black hole for 9 years, Ms. Baughman and Mr. Elder pushing me back on the way to the future, and all my friends standing behind me, supporting me, preventing me from
Metro
going
Fact to
back.
sleep, ain't he?
They showed me back into walking,
Oh, you
and
cold?
I realized I was never by myself. I learned that from the moment we all walked into Henry Street 4 years ago, that we became glued together. Today is the day that proves we all have the strength to puzzle together our big muddy rocks and carry out obstacles and transform them into our stepping stones. One by one, until we have forged our own path with the lessons we learned by overcoming the struggles that eventually helped us climb to the next stage. My king folks, don't ever forget, one day if you get lost like I did, you're never by yourself. The world is full of people who can help if you're willing to ask. Everywhere we have stepped are actions that have served to connect us all to this moment. Class of 2013, take your experiences, knowledge, and strength with you to your next stage, whatever that may be. And remember that no matter what difficulties are placed in front of you, you have the resilience that requires to live your dreams. Never be afraid to speak them out loud, because you never know who may be listening and caring. Be your own creator, but allow others to help with heavy lifting. And if you ever find yourself, look at your feet and think how much you have come through to stand at this place. And remember that you have not walked alone. Congratulations, senior people. Thank you, Mother, for those sweet and inspiring words. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, to present us with our high school diplomas, our counselor, Mr. Angler, our assistant principal, Ms. Bonner, our principal, Ms. Blackman, and our college counselor, Ms. Shaw.
Stand by the motion.
The fat chicks were performed live today. Says the fat chicks were performed live today.
Samuel Goldborn.